Okay, we're going to talk about lighting, and I've got a lot to talk about, and I've tried to do these videos, and they're too long, and I don't have patience for long videos, and so I don't think you probably do either if you're getting your house ready for sale. So what I want to talk to you about is we say over and over and over for staging, and if you're here for interior design tips, this is an important video to watch. That we actually sell light and space and luxury touches, right, when we're staging a house. So light is key. It is also one of the most affordable changes you can have in your house that makes the biggest impact. The difference between a very well-lit house and one that isn't is extraordinary. So I want you to take advantage of that because we want to sell your house faster and for more money. So let's talk about lighting. I went to the store today and realized I was just getting what I needed. I went with Ian and he had so many questions. Why wouldn't he? It was kind of overwhelming in the lighting department, but it doesn't have to be. I'm going to tell you what to pay attention to and what to look for, and the rest is just noise. So I need to explain to you about incandescent lighting, which is what, oh, let me take a sip. Hold on. Which is what we used to have. And that was a light bulb that was very kind of orange, and it went up according to wattage. It got hot, it had a very orange light, and you would have lamps that would say, this lamp can only take 60 watts. This lamp will only handle up to 75 watts. Because those bulbs got so hot, lamps had to tell you how much heat it could really handle. But the beauty of bulbs today, LEDs, it's called light emitting diodes, I believe, LED. But the beauty of LEDs is they don't get hot. So your bulbs that you're going to be seeing in the store today do not get hot. So we don't have to pay attention to wattage anymore. You will still see it on all the boxes. You can disregard it. They're just trying to give people an idea, because wattage is a name that's embedded in our heads. They're just trying to give people an idea of how bright a light is, but you can absolutely disregard that word. What I want you to pay attention to is for lights is something called lumens. That is what's going to tell you on LEDs how bright your light is, okay? And that is whether or not you buy this, or whether you buy this, or whether you buy this, it doesn't matter. It's all lumens. So let's talk about lumens, because if you're in the store and you need a light for a lamp, then the number of lumens that you're looking for on your bulb, if you just want a light for the lamp and it doesn't really need to be that bright because you have a lot of other light sources in the room, your lumens should be 500 to 800. If you really wanted to have a nice bright light in the room, then you're looking at an 800 lumen bulb, okay? And if you need it for task lighting, if it's for a reading nook or maybe in the kitchen, and you need a bulb like this, then you're looking at 1,000 lumens per bulb, okay? The only time I wouldn't go that high is if you're in a reading nook and your lamp happens to have a metal shade, then go ahead and stay with 800 or 500. So 500 for general lighting. If you like nice bright light, go ahead and do 800. If you have no peg lampshade, do 800. And if it's task lighting, go up to 1,000 for your bulb. But 500 to 800, perfectly fine for any lamps. And on the lamp, as you're screwing it in, when you see only take 60 watts or only take 75 watts, just ignore that. It doesn't matter anymore. They don't get hot. So then if you want any of these up in the house, or if you decided you're going to put some of these in, they're really marvelous when you need bright light for tasks like kitchens, then you want to pay attention to lumens in a different way. So your overhead lighting for a room, a good number to shoot for is 3,000. So in my kitchen, for example, I have 4 of these in the ceiling. So this says 780 lumens. So I figure 800, right? So 8, 16, 16, 60, 32. So I have like 3,000 lumens of light in my kitchen, and it's 4 of these because they're 780 lumens. You know, general math. I mean, do you really want me to multiply out what 780 is? I figured it was 800. Don't make me multiply it out. It's been a long day. I've been out shopping for lights with Ian. He had 1,000 questions. Just trust me. But in a family room, same thing. Now, you may have a family room that has big sliding glass doors with southern exposure and a bunch of lamps in there, and then you don't need 3,000 in your light fixture. Maybe you only need 1,500 lumens in a light fixture, okay? But if that ceiling light has to do a lot of work, if it has to fill up a lot of space, then 3,000, even 3,500 lumens for a room, I think is pretty fair. So that's what these lumens, that's all they do. So that's all you're looking for. Now, if you're going for bulbs, I do want to give you a little warning. This is a pretty standard bulb, right? And this is an E26. If you have any chandeliers, make sure you know which one they're using. They might be this, which is an E12, but they might be this, which is an E26. So before you go and buy 9 new bulbs for the chandelier, do yourself a favor and unscrew one and see which one it is, or at least get up there and try and look best as you can and see what size you're working with, okay? I don't want you to come home and have to do another trip, not for lighting. Okay, then the other thing you want to think about with bulbs is you want to remember that if you have any dimmable switches, you have to get bulbs that say dimmable. If you don't, then pretty quickly they're going to start to flicker or flash on and off, or they're just going to burn out way too early. So if you have dimmable switches, make sure the bulb itself on the box says dimmable. Now, somebody said to me, well, I think my contractor said just go on Amazon and buy a whole bunch of lights. Doesn't make a difference. It absolutely makes a difference. You should absolutely buy local on your lights, and you are not saving just about any money. Contractors are always looking for a way to save money because, fair enough, they've got to buy hundreds of something at once, right? And they don't have to live with it. No, here's what I want you to know. For lighting for your house, another number you're going to look at is this 90 number right here. Color accuracy. You want to be 90 and above. Go ahead and look at these 3 strawberries. This little photo of these 3 strawberries. Only one of them is 90 and above in their lighting. So if you shop at Lowe's, Home Depot, Ace, your local hardware store, they're going to have quality products. That's not something you have to be concerned with. But if you're getting onto Amazon, and it may say UAL listed, but that could be just something they stick right on the box, right? But this is something that a lot of people who want to put a cheap product out there and sell it online, this is something that they probably won't think to put on the box. Make sure it says 90. Or just go down to the store and buy them and know you're getting the right thing. I mean, the lighting is not that expensive. Now, here's the second thing I want to teach you about lighting, and that is something called kelvins. So if lumens will light up a space, what kelvins will do will make your house look amazing. And if you're staging your house, I can assure you that your buyers don't know about lighting. They haven't watched this video. They don't understand. They probably have the wrong light bulbs in their house. And they're going to walk into your house if you pay attention to kelvins, and they're going to go, oh, wow, this place is so light filled. I really like this. What kelvins are is not the brightness, it's the colorway. And the colorways are right back here on the back of the box as well. So you can have colors, bulbs that go from very warm to very cool. And if you choose the wrong colorway, it can look absolutely terrible in a room. If you choose the right colorway, it can make everything look so much nicer, so much more finished, and really give that emotional connection to the room that you want them to have. So let's get started and understand what they mean. And this is not hard either. So here's 2,700. This is what we grew up with as kids. I'm 67. When I say we grew up with as kids, I don't know, a 30-year-old may say, I didn't. But anyway, just know the source. So if what we grew up with is incandescent bulbs, and they were very orange, and they just were what they were. We didn't think anything about it. But now you can go ahead and you can get colors that run the whole gamut. So when would we now use a less orange color? Always. Those orange bulbs were nasty. They're ugly and they're nasty. If you have any incandescent bulbs in your house, get rid of them. If you're going on the market, it is the cheapest, easiest staging fix you can do, and you should do it because incandescents were nasty. Just go treat yourself to some new bulbs. Now, that being said, if you have a house that you want a warm, cozy space in, then go ahead and get a little warm light, or it's called a soft white. And your colorway on that is going to be 3000. That still has the orange tones in it, the golden tones, but it's not orange. It's just warm. Now, I want people when they're staging to really walk into a light filled space. So I really like the center, which is a more pure white. If you notice behind me, my wallpaper has golds and grays. And if you can see up there, it has some teals, it has greens. Anyway, it has a lot of different colors in it, and I want to be able to see those colors. So I go for 3500. I noticed I was in Home Depot today, and they called that color bright white. And that is something I really enjoy having. It's bright white. Now, when would you go to this colorway? You would go to something that is a 4000 color range if you had a coastal look where you had bright white cabinets and bright white walls and royal blue walls as accent, and royal blue or cranberry red as your accent colors. Those are very bright, crisp colors. Or a very, very modern house where you had maybe black and white and a bright yellow or something like that. Then you would go with a 4000, and it would make the colors, the crispness of those colors come through. That's usually the only time that I use 4000s. If you're in doubt and you're like, oh, I don't know, I have some royal blue here, but I have like a goldy yellow there, and I have a beige here. I don't know, what color should I go for? Go for 3500. It's the safest bet, and it's awfully pretty. So if you put a 500 or an 800 Kelvin bulb in your lamp and you choose a 3500 colorway, which is like a Home Depot bright white, I'm not sure what Lowe's calls it, I'm sorry. You will be amazed at how much more light you actually get out of the lamp, and it's perfectly safe to do so. Now, the beautiful thing is, and I absolutely love this, I am going to show you that. I hope you can see it. And what they can do now with bulbs for like $1 or $2 more is you can change the colorway. So you can actually choose how cool or warm you want it. Do you hear that? Each one is changing to a different colorway. Oh, that's fantastic. I'm just so pleased. You can even do it with these. Very, very pleased with that feature. It's marvelous because you may change your colorway in each room as you go through. For example, in my office, this has no lighting whatsoever. This was just like a storage room, really, and I wanted to make it my office. So I had to use brighter, whiter, high lumen lights so that I could get my brightness, and then I really wanted to show off my colors and not have it like cozy or soft feeling. So I went with that nice bright white 3500. But I may not do that in another room. In Ian's office, he likes to relax in there, and he likes to read a book, and he likes to, take a nap. So maybe I'll choose a 3000 colorway there because it's more cozy. But this feature is just fantastic. So just a couple of other quick things, by the way, if you feel like, okay, I got enough, I'm almost 15 minutes in, and I have no patience. So if you have no patience either, you're good, go. I'm just going to talk a little bit more about lighting, but you're good to go pick out your lights now. So remember, 500 to 800 for your bulb for lumens. For overhead lighting, a total of 3000 of whatever on the ceiling. You can go lower if you have a lot of lights in the room already. Then maybe you want to do 2000, total lumens in this off of the ceiling. That's fine too. Pay attention to this. Make sure if you have a dimmer, if the bulbs say dimmable, you're good to go. Then the other thing I wanted to talk to you about that's coming up that's pretty cool, and this is more of a design feature. Edison bulbs. So here's an Edison bulb. I just put up a picture because I actually have an Edison bulb. I think no, I have one upstairs. I just took out because it was orange. I hated it. Anyway, that's an Edison bulb, and they're very, very cute. But they used to only come in 2700 colorway, which too orange. I never used it. Cute as they were. These are filaments, and they are also adorable. And these filaments used to come only in orange colorways too. So Edison bulbs or bulbs like this could look really fun and cool, like in a dining room where you have the exposed lights and your chandelier doesn't have shades on it. It would be fun to put up, light bulbs that had a cool shade. Well, you can do that now because now they come in different colorways. So I'm pretty excited about that. Again, for the Edison bulbs, you want to look for an LED and you want to stay in the 3500 range. They just look so cool and they're so fun. And now we can use them. So the last thing I want to tell you, I've got one more thing and then it'll be the last thing I want to tell you. This is something I saw that I'd like you to consider as well. Apparently, you can take these and you can clip them on your cabinets and then pop them up for under cabinet lighting, or you can go ahead and clip them into your closet and they're motion detected. So as soon as somebody walks into your closet, they just turn on. What a nice feature when you're selling your house. I'm putting these in my closet today. Also, you can pop them out and you can recharge them. Is this upside down? Yeah, you can pop them out of their holder and recharge them. So that's pretty marvelous stuff. I think that's just so cool. People really like under cabinet lighting when they're selling their house, and they really like lights in closets. And both things, if I put them in for you as a designer before something like this, it would have been really expensive. We would have had to do a transformer, call the electrician, a whole thing. Very expensive. And now, just so easy. Just pop them in, turn them on. I think it's great. So the last thing I want to tell you about, and this is age related. I don't care. Anyway, I'll tell you about it. We talked about, filament lights and have cool, fun shapes. And we talked about Edison lights that have cool, fun shapes. And I just want to warn you, if you have, we never use those bulbs for task because they're just not good task lighting. So they're really for like dining, chandeliers or, lights that are kind of up on their own. So I wouldn't use them, for example, in a kitchen or a bathroom. They just won't do that for you. They're really more for kind of ambient general lighting. But if you do decide to use them, say in your dining room, right, just be careful. Make sure where you hang that light, that chandelier, make sure this won't make a pinprint right in your eye. So make sure at eye level those bulbs are above or below where you're working from. Because otherwise, if they pinprick in your eye, it happened to a few of my clients and they were like, I don't like this. I feel like I'm doing this when I'm in the kitchen and I'm standing next to the dining room. So just make sure that the height of your chandelier addresses that this has a bright light that comes out and goes pop. With that in mind, I have found that if you have a chandelier and you need new bulbs for it and you're deciding what to do, I might make it a little easier for you because my clients that are in their 20s and 30s, they love these. They're fun. Of course they do, right? But they're very bright. And I have found that people in their 50s and 60s, it's too much. And so we go and we get the frosted glass because it's a lot easier on our eyes because, I don't know, we get older, maybe, I don't know. So anyway, this is what's in my chandelier because I'm not 20 or 30. And I just wanted to warn you that if you're in your 50s and your 60s and 70s, then, frosted might be your friend. So save you a trip from the store. So that's it. That's lighting in a nutshell. Go ahead, go out, have fun, get some beautiful lights in there. They really make a difference. They really are so special. And I hope you enjoy the difference that it makes in your home. I know I did in mine, and I wanted to make sure I did this video for you. Take care, and we'll talk some more about staging your house.